Any other sectors you wanted to kind of chat about?
Listen, biotechnology, obviously one that I love. I think that the combination of artificial intelligence into medicine is going to be a huge, huge thing. Well, not only is going to be, it is already, but I think the public will start to understand that better in the coming years, much like I mentioned earlier with cybersecurity. I think some of the companies that develop drugs like Biohaven, which I speak about very frequently, where they've been able to bring a drug and get FDA approval in 5 years instead of 7, and being able to spend a lot less on the research and development of the drug to bring it to market. I mean, things like that are going to happen, and it's going to be huge. It is a big part of what we are doing with our company, M2 Bio Wuhan, is using artificial intelligence and machine learning for the drug discovery process as it relates to the areas in which we're involved in, that being cannabis and psychedelic mushrooms. It's the way, as I said earlier, it's the way of the present, and it's definitely the way of the future. And it's going to be a big, big, big thing. And people need to spend a bit of time educating themselves on what that may mean. There are some companies that are out there and do offer investment opportunities in that field where they combine artificial intelligence and medicine, platforms that allow research and doctors and scientists to be able to speed up the process. I mean, listen, warp speed and the vaccine discovery was a big part of that. I mean, it wasn't just simply about throwing a ton of money at it and a ton of scientists. It was about using all the prior knowledge and art that had been created in IP and figuring out quickly how to build the vaccine. And so similarly, in what we're doing here, if you can only imagine the amount of data we sit on in Africa, Africa being Africa being the leading, geographic location in the world that sits on data having to do with, every piece of tree, every seed that sprouts a flower, that sprouts a herb, that sprouts cannabis. I mean, it all generally speaking, originated here. And if you can imagine, all that data is here, and we're working on some exciting things related to that, and using that data and speeding up processes to have better and quicker, more efficient outcomes. So very excited about that. And that as a sector is going to be huge. And another exciting sector is, of course, and it all relates to the blockchain side, and that is the verification of product. And, where is the actual product coming from the start to the end? And that's what a consumer truly wants to know. So they feel good about ingesting or applying products that are being made out there. There's just so much crap that's out there. God knows where it's being made in the cannabis industry. CBD oil is one of them. I mean, Billy Bob and his brother are making CBD oil in the basement and selling it like snake oil salesmen. And that's a bad thing. And we need a verification process to be brought and to make that standardization take place. And that would be the blockchain. And that's what is going to be definitely, it already is a growing sector, but it is definitely a sector for the future.
Yeah. No, awesome. And hey, it's looking that way now. We talked about Bitcoin earlier, obviously doing well, but I agree with you. The supply chain side of things, a lot of companies are looking at. I think you saw some of the big, if I recall, pharmaceutical companies come out and say, one of their biggest uses for blockchain, at least that they're looking at, is actually a verification of drugs, and that in certain countries, especially developing countries, you've got a lot of fake drugs out there, fake pills, fake, you name it. And so they want to be able to verify, hey, this is what you're taking. And I think that's extremely interesting. And, the adaption, of course, think Walmart using it, think Amazon, think pharma companies. Like, hey, supply chain runs in a lot of different industries, a lot of different companies, and it's important to know where it's coming from, where it's been. So I think that's extremely interesting, and a good little cap. Do you want to, again,
just to add on that, Jason, what's really important is, now that we've been through or going through COVID, what we've realized as consumers, we're starting to realize that there's not necessarily such a great need for retail operations. So in the supply chain, there's not such a great need to deliver to a retail operation where more eyeballs get on a product. So the eyeballs can say, oh, yeah, that's a good product. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And as it goes down the supply chain, one person might be able to say, whoa, 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 hey, this product looks fake. So instead of that, now it goes directly from manufacturing to e-commerce platform to consumer.
Yeah,
So more than ever do we need the fact checking to take place because that whole other side of the supply chain is gone. Well, not is gone, but is slowly but surely kind of
shrinking.
eroding.
Yeah,
So all those eyeballs that used to be able to have a glance, have a look, does it look right? Does it feel right? Does it sound right? Those eyeballs are gone. And now it's only the manufacturer that says, yep, we made it. Trust us. Here it is, buddy. Pay for it.
yeah. So question for you, kind of bringing it all back in here, and kind of as we go into 2021 markets, really, and tell me if I'm off here, but the big recap that we're saying is like everything has gone up, minus airlines and cruise ships so far, but even they're seeing a little bounce here recently. Everything's going up. Going into 2021, you are going to see some reality kick in where everything can't just go up, especially go up forever. You're going to see things come back to reality, but also industries that are going to be affected long term, potentially seeing some changes. You're talking about cybersecurity, talk about other ones, gold, especially others, in the longer term. Is that safe to say that's how you're looking at it from an investment, landscape? Hey, find industries that are probably going to be affected, positively going forward, and look at those as making more of your 2021 portfolio instead of just throw money at hot topics. These things are going up.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been my way, and we have spoken about it on previous videos as well. That I'm usually a little bit early, and I find nothing wrong with being early. I would rather be early than late to the party. So cybersecurity, it's been around for a long time, and well, the people that talk about it are generally people that are involved in the space. But I think 2021 will be a bit of a breakout year for people to the lame person investor will start talking about it and say, hey, I should buy some shares in this one or that one. And so I think that's going to happen. And I think people will start to understand better, biotechnology, and I think they'll start to understand better how it merges, with things like artificial intelligence for drug discovery and how important that is. And I think these sectors will be, generally speaking, whether or not, the market has a big dump, 20-30% down, I think those sectors will continue to do really well.
Yeah.
So I see them also as being somewhat of a safe haven, if anything.
No, it's true. And honestly, I look at a lot of other factors. You're looking at it even from, you touched on social media, touching all that stuff. I look at it as well as people working from home, but also, as blockchain crypto becomes more of everybody's life, you're gonna care about security. The biggest issue for a lot of people I know, is, hey, will I be able to wake up and still have my Bitcoin? And I think obviously cybersecurity a big part. You already touched on some things, with Zoom, Salesforce and others. So, hey, exciting. Good things to
Yeah.
look at. Well, look, we've chatted for a while. I think again, we're gonna get a ton of questions. We can definitely do another video about certain industries people have. Look, there's tons of companies out there that are extremely hot. Would love to get both of our views, but especially Jeff's on some of those going
Cool.
forward. And Jeff, hey, I think this was a good video. Anything you wanted to add on?
No, all good, Jason. You did a great job as always. Thank you for the probing questions. And I just, wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, all the rest of it. And we will continue to do our videos and get out to our people and let them know what we think. It's really important.
Yeah, perfect. No, again, I always ask if you have questions, throw them below. We will definitely squeeze in certain things. I look, if you don't get a response, it'll get in a video. You'll get something. So, Jeff, thanks so much for joining. Have some great holidays yourself.
Thanks,
Enjoy
buddy.
the summer down there in South Africa.